Hi, I'm Tony, this is Slack, welcome to Smog Vlog. Today we're going to be reviewing the Smok Stick 1 Plus kit. Bra.
Alright, welcome back guys. Like we said, the Smok Micro Stick 1 Plus kit mega thing doodah. Yeah, this is only going to be a short review because we've kind of reviewed most of this already in the form of the TFV4 Micro. If you haven't seen it before, check our video in the link.
It'll probably be popping up in the corner right now.
And as well as the Micro TFV4, it also contains the Ego Cloud Plus battery, which is a 2000 mAh battery. But before we do any of that, let's dive down for an unboxing.
Seamless.
Right, let's unbox the Smok Stick 1 Plus. Okay, quick tour around the outside of the box. You've got your pretty much standard silver and white Smok box. Smok 1 Plus kit teamed up to be the best choice. Come down the bottom, you have your scratch and sniff code and some details of the thing, what resistance you're getting, what colour it is, etc. Come over the back and you've got your contents of your kit, which is one Ego Cloud Plus battery, 2000 mAh, one 3.0 micro fused claps and coil, 1.25 micro stainless steel dual coil, one silicon tank dust cap, one user manual, one micro TFV4 Plus tank, pre-installed, one Smok vape band, one USB charging cable, spare parts. Yeah, and then some general blurb about everything that's going on there. And then Smok's policy on tobacco cessation, which is nice. You got your QR codes on there. But I'm being handed scissors, so apparently I'm taking too long doing this. Let's get in and look at the good stuff. Oh, one thing I should say as well. We get this, which may or may not have been supposed to have been in the packet. However, turned up in a plastic baggie. Right, here's our oh so familiar black Smok box. All the others. Let's dive inside. Ah, tasty treats. We haven't had tasty treats inside a box for ages. Nom. Okay. Here we are, straight into the good stuff. This is what you want to see, but before we get on to see that, let's have a look at what other stuff they were talking about. So there's our QA sticker and a warning for using the device. We've got one wordy thing, so let's quick skim through that just to see what we're going to face. Yeah, spec and the kit includes, we've already got that on the outside of the box. How to use your scratch and sniff, here's your warranty information, 3-month period. A breakdown of the device itself, battery features, operation of the device using the micro TFV4, general warnings, some general incompetence, a couple of blank pages for you to write some coded messages. More tasty treats! Are they trying to kill me? We've got our USB cable. It's cheap, it's horrible, it's kind of what you expect. Here's our Smok cock ring. Ooh, look at it go, cock ring. And there's them spare parts. Yeah, this is a silicon seal for the top of your tank. You've got a little O-ring, a couple of bigger O-rings, and yeah, job is a good one. Right, here's our good stuff. I'll start with the battery because the tour of the battery won't take long. So you've got the Cloud Plus there. You can see one sprung loaded. Oh look, being handed a pen. Cheeky. Yeah, nice stiff resistance on that spring loading down there. Designed by Smok. Come around the side, we've got what I assume is going to be a light. Yeah, there it is, a very faint light now. That's reminiscent of the iJust 2 light, where if there's any daylight you are not going to be able to see it. You've got another light over the back, potentially for charging. We'll find out. I imagine that's going to be your charging indicator because it's right next to the USB port, which is going to be for charging. Come down the bottom, we've got our single vent hole and our serial number. So button and Smok logo on the same side. They look pretty nice. Nothing particularly fancy, but let's have a quick look at the micro TFV4. So we've got our twin skin drip tip, which has got the glass on the inside and then this sort of metal on the outside, help keep it cool for you. You can change that out for your own drip tip. It generally pretty much works. It's maybe not perfect with all of them, but you know, that's pretty much a common occurrence with drip tips. So yeah, to fill your tank, you just slide her open following the directions, and there you go, you've got that rubber grommety thing with the filling hole, and you can see down into your coil there. And smack the camera. When you're putting it back together, just make sure that pops in, makes a good seal there. Now come down the bottom, we've got our many air holes, there's 4. You can adjust them, they just spin infinitely. There's a sort of medium resistance to it. It's not, you know, going to be a wrestle to move it, but similarly it's not going to move on its own. It's kind of where you'd want it. Coming down the very bottom, we've got our silver 510 connector with fairly decent threads. Without further ado, we'll just very quickly dive inside. So here we're into our coil. So here's our micro 0.3 ohm fuse claps and dual core coil. Look at it go in all its glory. We've also got our stainless steel coil here. This, as the last one, has turned up nice and clean, but as always I'm going to give it a clean before I fill it up with juice and see what it's got. Right, back to the studio.
And welcome back. Here we are back in the room. Thank you Unboxing Slack for that, I'm sure, very eventful unboxing. Right, now let's move on to the mod. We're going to review both things, but we'll get through the mod first because we think that'll be quick.
Yeah, okay, so it's the Ego Cloud Plus mod, like we said. You know, it is a 2000 milliamp hour battery, and it's pretty tiny on its own. It's not a lot bigger than 18650 in height. Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay,
big.
so first up for the mod is going to be features and protections. First up, it's got an 8-second cut-off time.
Yeah, so when you're taking a hit, if it goes over 8 seconds, that's quite an impressive hit, and it will just cut out on you. However, that's more designed so if it's in your pocket or your bag, you don't blow your balls or your purse up.
Next up is resistance protection. It will fire from anywhere between 0.1 up to 2.5 ohms.
Yeah, also there's short circuit protection in there, so you know, effectively if you go below that 0.1 ohm resistance, it's going to cut out and keep you safe.
And lastly is low voltage protection.
Yeah, so when voltage gets down to 3.3 volts, it will cut out to stop damaging the cell. As with all batteries, if they get too flat, it does damage them, so you know, it just helps keep you safe there.
Next up, let's talk about charging the device.
Yeah, okay, so the USB port is sort of in the middle, which is really good. I like that. Some devices have it on the end, and I don't like that because you have to lay it down. You know, you take the choice away. Here, you can choose to have it stood up on your desk or lie it down if you so wish, which is good. There's a little red indicator saying it's charging, and when that goes out, the device is done. You don't need to take it straight off charge the second it goes. It regulates the power, so in the event of you leaving it on a little bit too long, nothing bad should happen. Obviously, best practice not to do that, but you know, it should be fine.
Okay, next up is the LED indicators. The LED is located just above the fire button on the front of the device, but as usual you can flip it round and look through the USB port and you'll get a better idea of what the battery is doing. If the battery starts flashing at you, it's probably about time to charge.
Yeah, unfortunately with this device, as with a lot of this type of device, that LED indicator is not very clear. If you're out in daylight, you are going to have some issues seeing it. Inside the room here, it's really easy to see. Just I know from experience that out in sunlight, it's not so easy to see. So yeah, you take your hit. If you see 4 fast flashes, then yeah, it's time to get charging before you run out of juice. Okay, next up we're going to talk about the button, and yeah, so the basic operation of the device, 5 clicks and turn it on or off depending on what state it's currently in. It's standard fare, press to go. The button itself is quite a nice quality. It's got a sort of very gentle click, which you can probably hear there, and yeah, it does the job. I've had no issues firing it, so that's really good.
So next up for you guys is battery life, and as you would expect from a device like this, it is as expected. It's good for an evening, lasts you quite nicely, but it's not going to be an all-dayer.
Yeah, it's a 2000 milliamp hour battery, and you get that sort of performance accordingly, which is fine. You know, it's nice and easy to charge, so it's not going to be a real headache for you, which is good. While we're talking about the battery, this is obviously a sealed unit. You don't have to worry about purchasing separate batteries and taking them out and charging them. This is it.
Okay, next up for you guys is going to be the 510, not just the 510 on the mod, but we're also going to segue into the 510 on the tank. Now, the 510 for the mod is nice and goldy coloured. So the 510 connection for the tank, which is silver, but because they're produced by the same manufacturer, it's obviously really good threads on both sides and a clean connection.
Yeah, like a high class hooker, this one's a pleasure to screw.
See,
together.
now, I wasn't doing the joke.
Oh, I just went there.
He really did. I was good on this occasion. Mark it in your diaries.
Right, as we've moved on to talk about the tank, it's worth saying that we have recently reviewed this in the Smok Micro 1 Plus kit. However, we're going to quickly fly through everything, starting with the coil options. Now, in the kit it comes with a 0.3 ohm Clapson coil for the Micro TFV4. Also in the box, you get the 0.25 ohm stainless steel Micro TFV4 coil, which is nice to have that option. The mod itself only works with sort of power mode, so there's no point in trying to get a TC coil in here. But yeah, the two you've got are quite a good choice for it.
It's also worth noting, like we've seen on the Smok website, and that was also included in the kit that we reviewed previously that had the TFV4 in, Smok are also producing the mouth to lung coils, the 1.8 ohm, which will be a great option for people who are going to be just starting the transition from cigarettes onto vaping.
Right, the tank capacity on this, it comes out the box with 2mm. There are extension tubes available to purchase separately that will take it up to a 3.5mm. But yeah, 2mm, get used to it with the TPD, that is going to be the size of tanks that we're going to be having. Right, moving up to the top of the tank now, let's quickly talk about ease of filling. As with the original TFV4 and the Mini, you've got this sort of little arrow on the top to indicate which way the top twists off. In there's like a kidney shaped bit where you just put a glass dropper or any bottle in and you just fill up through the rubber seal. It works really well. The only thing is you need to look at where the arrow is because it goes in only one direction. When you're closing it, sometimes a little bit tight to get in. However, that does mean that it's a nice solid unit. It's not going to be flopping about all over the shop. And it does make it really easy to fill. It is one of the better top fill systems that's out there.
Just quickly now, as with the previous review, the drip tip is exactly the same. Twin O-rings on the bottom, dual skin, twin skin, dual skin, foreskin, twin skin drip tip. That's what it says on the tip. Okay, now moving into the realms of talking about the kit as a whole, and first up is got to be the heat test.
Yep.
Yep, that's really good. Yep.
So during the heat test, we get to see how the mod performs under a bit of like a torture test.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying.
You could say we're also going to explain how the flavour works, how the wicking works.
Yeah, it wicks good.
How the mod itself deals with the heat. How that twin screen drip tip deals with the heat.
Still no heat from the drip tip for me. Flavour's still on target.
Yeah, and you guys get to see the vapour production. We'll also talk about the airflow in a second.
Airflow is very good for such a tiny little unit.
I've been told it was a good size, thank you.
They weren't lying.
Room is fast disappearing in Smog. I do like the heat tests.
Who doesn't like the heat test? Heat test is awesome.
You can hear it hissing away afterwards. We're starting to, use through the juice.
That's probably about good, right? One more.
One more each. I want another one. It's tasty. Right, at the end, I was getting a bit of heat from that drip tip. However, now the inside's a bit warm, but it's not terribly hot. The tank itself, the reason I'm testing it on my lips, it is one of the most sensitive places, and you don't do that during general usage, but it's a good way to sort of measure the heat. The glass itself got a bit warm, but it didn't really get too hot. The vape itself stayed nice and consistent throughout. The mod is stony cold, that heat hasn't travelled down into it, so you've not really got any heat concerns with this unit.
Yeah, like I briefly said during the heat test, you've got airflow, wide open airflow on there, which can be dialed right the way down to almost nothing, which would help the mouth to lungers out there get the full flavour from the coils.
Yeah, so it's got 4 separate things on the side with a little turny wheel, which you just turn around to the point that you want it, and it works really well. It doesn't get accidentally knocked. It's easy enough to use when you want to use it.
And lastly, the airflow control valve for those airflows is swivelly right the way round. There's no notches, but it's got a good resistance to it. So you set it, it stays.
Well, as we said during the heat test, the Flavour is good from this. I prefer the Flavour that I get from the micro TFV4 to the full-blown TFV4. If I'm honest, this one no exception on this battery. You know, you don't have an adjustable voltage on this battery; it just fires, and it still gives you good flavour. And yeah, it's just nice and consistent each hit. Even with that torture test, which is more than most people would vape, you know. I only occasionally vape that hard if I've got a very short vape break and I've had quite a few beers.
In terms of leaks and spits for this unit as a whole, we've had nothing. It's been absolutely flawless right the way
Right,
through.
let's talk about portability, size and weight. Obviously this kit is designed to be portable. It is small, it is just really convenient to sort of carry about. To add to that, included in the packaging is this rather unusual sort of like drip tip cover. It's got a little lanyard point on the top, so you just slide it on there and you could carry it about on a lanyard. I don't doubt for a second that will hold under normal things. However, from experience with stuff like this, when you're running or doing sort of high impact stuff with it, as well as it banging about and being a little bit of a pain, there is a tendency that they will pop off. However, it's ribbed for your pleasure on the inside there, and there's like a dome for the drip tip to fit in nice and neatly. So as well as the benefit of having, you know, something to sort of carry it about with, it also keeps debris out of your drip tip, so you're not going to be vaping dirt.
In terms of weight, it's not the lightest of mods that we've had or kits that we've had. However, that doesn't mean to say that you're sort of like, oh god, this heavy thing in my hand again. It's good. It's nice to know that it's there. It's similar to the Wismec Venti. It's just nice and would be really useful as a kosh.
Yeah, weight-wise, it's not terribly heavy, but it does have some weight to it, so you're not going to lose it in a pocket or something. You will know where it is, but that's really good because it just adds to the solidness, the sort of, you know, solid construction, good quality construction of the unit. It does feel like it will take a knock, and from experience, it definitely does take a knock because I've dropped mine a couple of times and not a mark on it, not a problem with it. Styling wise for the unit, I think Smok have done quite a good job with it. You know, in this one, the black one, you've just got the black and then some nice silver lines going round up to the tank. I think as a unit as a whole, it does gel together really well, considering it's just like the micro TFV4 and a battery. They really do fit together well and look really cool. Styling of this thing that comes with it, not so much, but it's not about that. It is about this, and I think it looks quite nice.
Colour options wise, it comes in the standard black, which we've got silver, white and red, which are all nicely styled, equally the same as this.
Warranty wise for this kit, it's got a standard 3-month warranty, which is pretty good. It covers, you know, if there's manufacturer defects. It's a case of if you break it, you have bought it, I'm afraid, but that is standard affair.
Okay guys, we've reached that special stage in the show where we sum up by way of pros and cons. As always, we'll start with the cons so that we're ending on those beautiful pros. First up on the cons list.
Yeah, so it's going to be that light, the battery indicator light. When you take a hit, if you're outside in daylight, you just can't see it. It is fairly common with this type of thing, but other units do have lights that you can see, like the Aspire K4. That just works a bit better. You see it in any light conditions. It's not a world-ending problem, but you know, it just could have been done a little bit better.
Next up on the cons list is the 2mm tank. Now, not the 2mm tank in itself, but the fact that they haven't included, as they did with the Smok Micro 1 kit, the 3.5mm extension tube. I think that would have been a valued addition here.
Yeah, I mean, we need to get used to 2mm tanks with the TPD. However, it is perfectly legal to include extension tubes, and it would have been a nice inclusion. And lastly, for the cons, it's one of my personal things. It certainly doesn't affect Tony, but it's this twin skin drip tip. If you get your lips on it right, it's absolutely fine. You get a nice cool vape. However, if, like me, I do occasionally just put it in my mouth wrong and, yeah, burn my lips on the inside of that twin skin drip tip. It's a common thing with twin skin drip tips. It's a common thing with me. It's not a biggie.
Okay, so that's enough ragging on it. Let's move into those pros. And first up on the pros list has got to be the size of it. It is a stubby little powerhouse that's good as a club as well. No, it's awesome.
Yeah, size-wise, we've seen similar powered units that are much bigger, so it's nice to have something smaller, and by making it smaller, they haven't sort of like compromised in sort of structural integrity or anything. It is a nice solid unit still.
Next up for you guys is ease of filling with that kidney-shaped filler at the top and the easy sort of swing open and swing closed door. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it is one of the better top filling systems that's out there. Nice and easy to use, nice and clean, and you know, when you've got the top open, you don't have to hold on to it and sort of fanny about with it while you're trying to open a bottle or something. Makes it nice and easy.
The addition of that kidney shaped thing where you can get a pipette in one side and air comes out the other side, brilliant. And lastly for the pros, it's got to be the coil options that are available for it. The TFV4 Micro has been out a little while, but Smok are definitely investing in their product by bringing out a whole range of these coil options. We can't remember them all, but please go to their website if you're interested.
Yeah, it comes with a couple of good coils, you know, some of my favourites for the range, and as well, yeah, you've got all those options. Just remember that this battery itself doesn't deal with temp control, so you need to stick to your power one, so your Canthol and your stainless steel. So that's about it for the review. In summing up, it's a really great little unit. You know, it's tough, it's portable, it's nice and small, and really good flavour from it. Good airflow, good coil options. You know, it's just like a good all-round, simple to use unit.
Okay, guys, that about wraps it up for this review of the Smok Stick 1 Plus kit. Is that right?
Yep,
That's right. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoy what you're seeing and what we're doing for you. If you do, please don't be afraid to drop us a like and do the whole subscribe thing because it helps us out a lot. Also, if you'd be so kind, follow if you want. It's up to you guys. We're not telling you, but it would be great if you would. Do the whole social media thing as well. We're quite active on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We are quite chatty.
And as well as that, if you've got any questions about this device or anything else, you can hit us up in the comment section here, or meet us on the social medias. We're quite active on the New World Vaping UK on Facebook.
But for now, thanks for watching the Smog Vlog.
It's like the cat eating the fruit basket. That's probably the cover picture, isn't it? The cat with the bell. Brilliant. Yeah.
Stick 1 Plus.
Can you stop moving Murray?
I didn't touch fucking Murray.
Yeah.
If he's saying anything else, I'll sort him out.
Show me on the dolly where he touched you.
It's not quite outside the realms of 5-second goldfish.
You've moved Murray again. You
Fuck off! I ain't touched him!
Wiggling about. Jesus Christ. It's like trying to have a bath with a whale shark in it, you know?
Dude, you've got some really fucked up analogies. Really fucked up.
Don't you have baths with whale sharks?
That's just... You haven't lived.
Yeah, that's it. I might have said without further ado a lot.
He definitely said coming down the bottom a lot. It'll probably be popping up in the corner right now. You condescending bastard! Yes, I'm sure you're going to remember to do that.
Years of experience. And as well as the Micro TFV4, it also contains the Ego Cloud Plus battery, which is a 2000 mAh battery. I was about to dive us down for an unboxing.
Dramatic pause. And here we are back in the room, right. Fuck off avast, basically.
My computer's running slowly. Flashes, then yeah, it's time to get charging before you run out of juice. Electric juice. as opposed to e-juice. Oh.
Mixing your juices.
Yeah, I've been mixing something. Alright, don't forget your tea.
I'm not, I've been steadily going at it.
What?
Nothing. You got extras in the bottom of yours or something?
I have actually, yeah.
Is it a dildo by any chance?
No, it's just weird black stuff. Oh yeah, black dildos. Right, as we've moved on,
Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi Ton.
Hardhole.
E. Moving up top now, ease of filling. So, as with the TFV4 and the Micro and Mini, it's really easy. Except when you turn it round in your hands. Right, moving up to the top of the device, we're going to talk about ease of filling. Now, as with the original TFV4 and the Micro and Mini TFV4s we've reviewed before, it's pretty easy. So there's a little circular arrow which indicates which way. You can't fucking do it. I'm doing it right. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do.
Under an hour.